So everybody, there's my visitor getting ready to leave. We've had a little stay here. That's Tony from Doing Redneck Things Off Grid.
Hey everybody.
Don't forget to stop over and see him. He shot a video here of me earlier and talking about my solar system and stuff like that. But he's got to head on down and pick up his wife's, and he's got some dogs in the truck. And I got all dogs all over the place here that want to get in there because one of his dogs is in heat.
All right, we'll see you again soon.
Okay, Tony, leave the gate open.
All right.
So that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, I'll just pause this and get back to you with some more information. Well, I'm back, everybody. It's later in the day, and I've had all kinds of stuff going on today. I'll get to that in a little while. I'm out here in the garage, and as you can see, my numbers up here look pretty good, and I'm resting. I still need to get a better solar panel system on here than what I've got, because that one ain't going to do. But I want to thank the individual that mentioned using a test light, a 12-volt test light. That's an automotive test light, and you notice that the heavy wire on here. I have a couple other cheaper ones, but I hadn't remembered where I kept this one. From my old days working on cars all the time, I had the best tools. I bought Snap-on for mostly everything. But yeah, that's a free lift for Snap-on tools, because I don't get paid by them. Anyway, I decided this one has a heavy enough wire and clamp on it. It's not a little tiny alligator clip. So I clipped it on to the wires here and touched it to the cable coming off the inverter. And it lit up nice and bright. And then in a few seconds it started dimming out and went out. Then I made the connection without any spark. So for those of you who want to know about that, it does work, okay? So just make sure you get yourself a really good test light. Don't use those little cheapo $2 ones that you can find in the dollar store. I'm sure that wire will just burn on it before it does anything. Anyway, I have the light on here, right there, the green light. So it's in inverter mode. And I left my voltmeter in the other rooms, but I was going to test the output here. I'm pretty sure it's just doing fine. So I'll be hooking up some wire to this, get it into the panel. Probably tomorrow I'll put a box on the wall here with an electrical outlet in it, and I'll switch the pump over from the house electricity onto that. And why am I going to do that? Well, let's take a walk and I'll tell you. Come on, follow me. All right. I had company today, as you saw. Tony from Doing Redneck Things Off Grid was here. And then right after he left, neighbors and future customers that are setting up their solar system for their very first solar system came over to discuss the items they needed. And of course, I told them to go with what cycle. And they're also going to buy the same 6.5 48 or the 6548 split phase charger inverter from SunGold Power that I use. Because so far, everybody that I've told about SunGold Power is pretty satisfied with what they've got. So between SunGold Power and Watt Cycle batteries, we've got a winner. Definite winner. Now, I do know that SunGold Power charger inverter is basically made by the same company as a lot of the others, and it's just a name change on them. But I do like the service department a service department with Sun Gold Power. You call them on the phone, they take care of you right away. Okay, so here's what the other situation I had today. That's why my tester is out here, my voltmeter. Well, you remember I originally bought 4 Li-Time batteries, and I had those up here running my my system off of those. Well, for the past month or so, even before I switched to 48 volts, I was noticing that every now and then I would drop from 100% down to 50% in an hour's time after dark. And I wasn't running anything. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Now this battery, I had to pull out of here today, and I replaced it with the Watt Cycle 200 amp hour battery, which is 30 amp hours lower, but it adapted, it took control, and as you can see here, it's working just fine. So I'm at 53 volts and the batteries are full right now. We'll see what happens after dark. Now last night I had 100% was showing on my app at the time that I was ready to go to bed. But I said, you know what, I'm going to take a shower first before bed, and that way I'll sleep much better. So I went and jumped in a quick shower, probably in and out in 5 to 8 minutes. Nothing really major. Okay, so the water pump probably ran twice. I came out, checked the app again before bed, and I was down to 52%. What the heck? Something's not right. So I said, well, I'll have to research that in the morning. So I went to bed and I did sleep really well. I woke up at 6 a.m. and I rolled over to see the clock on my nightstand to see what time it was. And it was blank. It was black. Son of a gun. I was going to say bitch, but I changed it to gun. Either way, those are probably going to hit the algorithms on YouTube. Anyway, come to find out, when I disconnected all the batteries, because I don't have a 48 volt charger yet, and I'm having a little problem with the generator running through this system because it's not pure sine wave. And I tested it today, and it's running at 59.3 hertz. I need to get that up to 60 hertz, which means I'm going to have to increase the RPM on the generator until it gets up to closer to 60 hertz, which is pure sine. Okay, so this battery is my 200 amp hour Watt Cycle battery, and it has been accepted by the others to work along with it. Now, when I was running 12 volt, I actually had these all in parallel, including that one, and I had the Watt Cycle battery hooked in parallel with it, and it accepted it then too. So I knew that it was not going to be a big deal to get it in here, and I contacted Li-Time and sent them the serial number, because I had all these registered, and they're under 5-year warranty. So I said, please advise as to the next step on getting a replacement for this thing. Now, that's not giving me much confidence in the other 3. But I'm going to get a new one. And actually, when I hear back from them, I'm going to mention to them that I run a 48 volt system. So these others are a year old. And if they're going to send me one new one, that's past the time that they're supposed to be connected. So maybe they'll take all 4 of them back and send me 4 new ones. Or they can send me a 2 48 volt batteries that are 115 amp hours, or 3 100 amp hour 48 volt batteries, and I'll accept that. But I'm not going to be able to live with that situation. Now, my numbers are really, really in good shape here right now. So I'm not worried about it right now, but I'm going to see how it goes later on tonight. And you can see I'm got AC going in, and I've got still charge on the solar panels. And for the past week or so, about this time, the charge was dropping off. Another thing I noticed on the app was that I think this thing actually limits the solar that comes through it when it's not needed. Because I was noticing on the app that I was running the air conditioners and the ceiling fans and all of that, and I was still at 100%. And I didn't need any more power coming in. And then I looked at the app, and at the top it shows the solar coming in. Here it's showing it here. But it was showing that I was only bringing in like 120 watts. And I've got a 3,000 watt solar system. And I'm over 3,000 watts. And I'm only bringing in 120. So I think this thing limits the solar coming in because it's not needed. And what's it going to do with it, right? I know it does that to the battery. It limits the charge to the battery if it's not needed. You'll actually see this line will just disappear. Right now, it's sending charge to the batteries just to keep them at 100% because I still have stuff running inside the cabin. Interesting. Really, really interesting. I love it. So, that's where I'm standing. That's my situation. I'm going to see how the night goes. And then tomorrow morning, after a whole night, I can come out. That's why my voltmeter's still here. I can test each one of the batteries separately and see what kind of voltage I have in each one. And I want to make sure that they're all within 1 volt of each other for a balanced set. And I did throw my heavy-duty charger, of course my heavy-duty watt cycle charger, and my light-duty watt cycle charger. I had to disconnect all the wiring and charge them independently at 12 volts. And I did charge all the others, and they just perked up right away, all except for that one. And the weird thing is that when I tried connecting the battery charger to that one, it was arcing. When I touched the cable to the battery post, it was arcing. So I think there's a short inside of that battery, and that's what was sucking the rest of them down. Because LiFePO4 batteries are just like lead acid batteries. The weak one in the group will suck the power out of the strong ones. So don't think that you can get away with keeping one weak battery in your battery bank. If you put one weak battery in there, it draws all the others down to its level. So it's a no-no for you guys out there starting your off-grid ventures. Remember, you want all your batteries to be pretty equal in power. And that's why they tell you if you're going to add batteries to your system, you should do it within 6 months. You don't want to have a 1-year-old battery system and add a brand new battery to it, because that brand new battery is going to drop down to the same state of charge as the older batteries. It's not going to keep its full charge, and it could damage the battery. So keep that in mind, everybody. Questions and comments down below. Don't forget the thumbs ups. Don't forget to share and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. And if you hit something and it comes up saying you need to pay, that's because, excuse me, that's because I had to sneeze and you have to pay for those sneezes. No, that's because you hit on the join button. The join button is not to join as a subscriber. That's to join as a paid patron. Okay? So it wants you to pay every month. But if you hit the subscribe underneath the video where it says subscribe, there'll be a little bell icon there also. Click that, lets you know when I post another video. This is G Bear signing off.